Shalom, Kahalayim Layahu Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Rakakudash. Double honors to the apostles of GMS who rule well, who I learned this truth from, and salutations and blessings to the hopeful elect. This is a image I found on Instagram. I just happened to come across it, and this is a page of a German Masonic lodge. As you see down here, this is in German. But this image I found very interesting here, where you can clearly see its steps going up, and they have words, beauty, strength, wisdom. And I'm going to go into some of these words because they're pretty interesting. And, these devils, they use words as spells, as many of you brothers know. The English language is basically, or what I should say is the New English, because you have something called Old English, which is what the 1611 is written in. Which, when brothers get that, even the font is different. Because the J looks like an I, because you didn't have a J prior to the 1600s. So you got to get used to that. Like when I first started reading the 1611, I had to get used to it. But this New English is basically a cast spelling, language. You cast spells with it, and I'm sure brothers seen videos of people breaking down certain words. How you say good morning, the weekend, certain words like that have negative connotations, right? When you look up that word Doric, as you see up top, Doric, or it goes back to the Dorians, going back into the Greeks. Same with Ionic, or the Ionians, Corinthian, right? Which Corinth means, I had it here, means a point or a peak, right? So they like to use that here for that. Now, after that, I looked up the word grammar, because they have grammar all the way up there. Now, when you look up grammar, because this is how they use a lot of their witchcraft. Grammar, noun, late 14th century Latin grammar, rules of Latin. That's why we tell you this beast system is that old Roman Empire, man, that system of the Roman Empire. Grammar learning, especially Latin and philology, also magic, incantation, spells, mumbo jumbo. And this language is mumbo jumbo, okay? Because I remember taking grammar, English, all that crap. And you're just like, why am I even spelling these or writing these words, and I can't pronounce certain letters? And it almost seems like new words being created every friggin' day. But that's because this language is a magic casting. It's a spell casting language. Right? Then we have the next word. Hold on. Rhetoric. Right? All the way, right above grammar. So when you look up rhetoric, the art, early 14th century, the art of eloquence and persuasiveness in language. The art of using language to influence others. So like I said, they really cast spells, and especially through their media, their programming, their shows, their movies, right? Down here, the art of an orator, speaker, master speaker, orator, artist of discourse, teacher of rhetoric, right? But the point is here, The art of using language to influence others. These are all tactics and ways that they do, or that they use to control you people. Arithmetic is above. Well, you had logic. It's like, so you have grammar, rhetoric, logic, arithmetic, which is math and numbers. Which let's look that up actually. Arithmetic, art of computation, most elementary branch of mathematics. But why is it so high up? You have beauty, strength, wisdom, and then it's an arithmetic all the way up there, because they use numbers, right? We can clearly see that. You know, there's some conspiracies that are completely bugged out, but then there's other conspiracies that it makes sense, and they use these numbers. You know, they might sacrifice on a certain day, or they use certain numbers in the media and they keep showing that number, but it's subliminal. So we don't really know, because these are all things done in secret. Then above that, you got music. Now, when you look up music, it goes back to the word muse. Right, let's look it up. Mid 13th century, a pleasing succession of sounds or combination of sounds. Now, when you go down, all the way from Greek, right? Musique, art of the muses. Let's look up the word muse. To reflect, to ponder, meditate, to ponder, dream, wonder, loiter, waste time. But the muses, you had, I believe, 9 or so. Yeah, right here. Noun. Yeah, 9 right here. Yep. Noun, late 14th century, one of the 9 muses of classical mythology, daughters of Zeus. So they want you to be under that vibration of their, gods, and they use their music to do that, right? See, it says all the way down here, it says, ultimately from PIE, men to think, meaning inspiring goddess of a particular poet. So you can see these are all tactics that they use. And then above you have astronomy. Now, I'm not saying this is like set in stone, and they always play with distractions, and throw out monkey wrenches and have scapegoats. But some of these things, when you look them up, as I did just now, they make sense, man, with how these devils operate, especially with the grammar, man. I didn't even know that. I had to look it up, and I'm like, wow. And that's something they push hard in the society, right? I remember that that's what they push hard. Grammar. Oh, you got to make sure your grammar. Meanwhile, this devil, this piece of filth, he'll write your name in all caps on your license, on your passport, on your SIN number. But then when you're writing a letter, or something else, you can't do that. That's grammatically incorrect. Because this devil uses his witchcraft, man. As the scriptures say, sin, he had laid in his iniquity. And then there's another scripture that mentions the sins of his youth. This devil has been working this craft for a long, long, long time. So let's go to Psalm 64:1. Hear my voice, O Most High, in my prayer. Preserve my life from the fear of the enemy. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked. Secret. From the insurrection of the workers of iniquity, who whet their tongues like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. They encourage themselves in an evil manner. They commune of laying snares privily, meaning in secret. Traps. They said traps, man. Gangster rap, that's trap. They call it trap now, though, right? Trap music. They're laying all these snares for you Now they're coming up for you blacks and Latinos, right? They're saying, look, we can give you loans now. We can give you loans so you can buy homes, right? When in the history of America has America been, you know, supportive of you Israelites? Never. And now that the society's falling, they're giving you the crumbs that are falling off. You know, all this money that's spreading around, stimulus checks and all this garbage. This is the end, you know, because this is the last bit of money that's going to come around, because this thing's literally about to crash. You know, this whole system, I mean. Verse 5, they encourage themselves in an evil manner. They commune of lame snares privily. They say, who shall see them? They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search, both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep, because this devil, all he does is research. He has endless resources, and through those endless resources, he has so much money to hire people that all they do, their whole job, their whole life, their career, is to research and understand things. You know, it's like Apostle Hart, man. He always says it's not like Jake, you know, it's just in the hood. All they know is the hood. You know, they're just there. Well, just like take that situation, but flip it to Esau. All they know is how to research and go deep into things, man. You know, it says, both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep, but the Most High shall shoot at them with an arrow. Suddenly shall they be wounded. Right, and that's when the Most High is gonna. We're coming into that time where He's gonna lay a snare for them, or they're gonna be caught in the snare that they set up. This is Wisdom of Solomon 14 and 22. I'll start at. It says, moreover, this was not enough for them, that they erred in the knowledge of the Most High, but whereas they lived in the great war of ignorance, and we're in the great war of ignorance, lack of knowledge. That's what ignorance means, right? Because everybody's using that craft now. You can clearly see it. Everybody's using the goat. Everyone's using the horn god. Everyone's using Pan. Everyone's using some sort of craft, some sort of garbage. When you go on Instagram, people are making all kinds of garbage craft. You know, I seen one dude, he had a pyramid on his head, like a small pyramid thing, and he's trying to break it down, saying, oh, this is copper and it's an antenna. And listen, man, it's good because this shows you that this is Babylon. This is a whole mixture of madness. It's a cesspool of fuckery, right? But we're gonna see, what's gonna really stand when that wind blows. When that fire really comes, we're gonna see what's gonna stand, because you people and your ways, man, it's gonna turn to naught. But whereas they lived in the great war of ignorance, those so great plagues called they peace, for whilst they slew their children in sacrifices, or used secret ceremonies, or made revelings of strange gods. Now this is going into the Canaanites and the different Hamites. But now guess what? Esau took those customs, because a lot of the customs, but actually majority of the customs, I'll say pretty much everything that Esau does, he got it from the Hamites. All the worship of the fertility, right? Right now we're in the equinox time, and we're about to, we're gonna have to pass through Hallows Eve, which is a high Sabbath for the witches, and then we're gonna go into the winter solstice, going into Nimrod, and then after that you have the spring equinox, which is fertility, associated with Ashtar, that's where you get Easter from, which is paganism. But that's dealing with fertility, and they worship that, right? They worship the creature more than the creator, right? But it says, for whilst they slew their children in sacrifices, right? Or use secret ceremonies. So you got Israelites making fun of GMS for talking about Illuminati. You read these scriptures, man, all you think about is Illuminati. What does that mean? Use secret ceremonies or made revelings of strange rites. Go look up the fucking Bohemian Grove, man, and tell me if that's a conspiracy. Bohemian Grove. You know, powerful men that go every friggin' year, right? Every fucking year they go there. And these are multimillionaires in the woods. What do they go there for? Right? Verse 24, they kept neither lives nor marriages any longer undefiled, but either one slew another traitorously, or grieved him by adultery, so that there reigned in all men without exception blood, manslaughter, theft, and dissimulation, corruption, unfaithfulness, tumults, perjury. We're in those times again, and actually greater. Disquieting of good men, forgetfulness of good turnings, defiling of souls, changing of kind. What is that going into? This whole thing about, oh, there's more than two GENDERS, right? There's like, how many are they saying? 80 or whatever the hell? Changing of kind, disorder in marriages. What does disorder in marriages mean? I don't have to break that down. That's not a breakdown. Disorder, adultery, and shameless uncleanliness. You know? For the worshipping of idols, not to be named, is the beginning, the cause, and the end of all evil. And you people worship men. You know? Your idols are men now. You know, celebrities, stars. And then a lot of you people, you actually have your actual idols that you worship, your gods. So this place is all out of order. This place is out of whack. But I just want to bring that out. I thought that was pretty interesting, us seeing that. You know. So I'm going to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Rachakodash. Double honors to the apostles of GMS who rule all, who I learned this truth from, and salutations and blessings unto the hopeful elect. Shalom.